Getting a custom, flawless look for your car without the permanence of a factory paint job is an incredibly appealing idea, but that appeal often hits a wall the moment you get a quote. You might go in expecting the price of a large sticker, only to see an estimate pushing past $4,000. A big part of the frustration comes from online calculators. They throw out massive ranges that don't account for the actual condition or shape of the car sitting in your driveway. So we are going to break down the exact mechanics of how a wrap quote is built here in the New Orleans market and what specifically drives that final number up or down. A vehicle wrap requires precision installation and specialized materials. Budgeting for it means understanding exactly what you want to achieve before you ever talk to a shop. Here are New Orleans 2026 pricing tiers. Partial wraps sit lowest, $500 to $1,800. Full wraps for cars and SUVs land between $2,500 and $4,000. Finally, trucks and vans command $3,500 to $5,500. The exact number you pay within these baselines is dictated by three rigid variables: your vehicle's size and shape, the specific material finish, and your total coverage. Understanding these starting points is helpful, but pinpointing your actual price means applying those three variables directly to your car. Let's look at how that math works. The first major cost driver is what you might call the geometry tax, the physical size and complexity of the vehicle. Massive square footage, like you find on lifted trucks or long cargo vans, requires significantly more raw vinyl. More material directly increases the baseline cost. Size is only half the equation. This wireframe model shows the difference between flat panels and complex compound curves. A flat van is straightforward, but a highly contoured sports car requires meticulous stretching and heating to prevent failure. Those tricky angles mean that even a smaller car with a lot of complex geometry can quickly push a quote toward the top end of its pricing tier. You are ultimately paying for the labor-intensive effort required to mold that material cleanly over your car's specific shape. The second major variable is the material itself. Standard gloss and matte films are the industry workhorses and represent the most affordable baseline option. Premium films are a different story. Exotic finishes like chrome, brushed metal, or this color-shifting vinyl carry higher raw material costs and demand highly skilled labor, so the pattern doesn't tear or warp during installation. If those premium materials push the limits of your budget, you can adjust the third variable, total coverage. You don't have to wrap every painted panel. Many drivers opt for strategic visual changes, like a contrasting black roof, a wrapped hood, or a blackout chrome delete. A targeted partial wrap drastically reduces the labor time needed, dropping the final invoice down to the $500 to $1,800 range. Pulling back on bumper-to-bumper coverage or avoiding exotic finishes is the fastest way to shrink an upfront quote while keeping the actual installation quality high. Here in New Orleans, the local climate acts as a harsh, unavoidable fourth variable. The intense Gulf sun, high heat, and heavy humidity put massive stress on exterior films. Cheap vinyl installed poorly will lift, peel, and fade rapidly under these exact conditions. For drivers who want absolute defense against the environment rather than a color change, the alternative is paint protection film, or PPF. PPF is a specialized clear layer designed to shield your car from constant daily hazards, like rock chips out on the causeway. That level of defense comes with a strict trade-off. PPF costs significantly more per square foot than standard vinyl, easily pushing total budgets past $5,000. However, paying a premium for climate-rated materials and an expert install up front is much cheaper than having to strip and replace a failed bargain wrap a year later. To make this actionable, let's look at this matrix matching specific goals to four distinct pricing profiles. First is the budget restyler. For visual impact on a strict budget, target a partial wrap or a chrome delete. Expect to spend under $1,800. Next is the total transformer. For a clean, factory-style color change on a standard sedan, budget realistically between $2,500 and $4,000 for a standard gloss finish. The premium protector profile is for luxury owners. If you require exotic finishes or high-grade PPF defense, prepare for quotes of $5,000 or more. Finally, the commercial investor. Turning a single business van into rolling advertising starts around $3,500. But as this scale demonstrates, wrapping multiple vehicles creates a distinct financial advantage. The per-unit cost drops significantly under a fleet program. Even with a higher total invoice, those branded commercial fleets offset the expense by generating continuous, localized advertising across the metro area. Identifying your specific profile before requesting a quote prevents you from overpaying for aesthetic features you don't need or underestimating the durability you actually require. Keep in mind that the upfront shop quote is only half the math when calculating the true lifetime value of a wrap. Your daily habits post-installation heavily influence how long the investment lasts. Garage storage protects the vinyl for years, while harsh street parking will shorten its lifespan regardless of the material quality. Because every vehicle has unique geometry and specific paint conditions, the only way to get a perfectly accurate number is to have a professional inspect the car in person. A well-chosen car wrap balances your personal aesthetic desires with the specific financial and environmental realities of your vehicle. Know your goals, understand the variables, and your investment will pay off exactly as planned.